Hello everybody. Today I'm going to be showcasing how to do what I like to call the Minecraft texturing method. This is going to be like a form of developer art, and it's very useful for rapid prototyping and game development. And to put it simply, it involves reusing a few base noise textures and tweaking them to create a bunch of other textures, and then using those textures to make even more textures, and so on and so forth. This method is not strictly limited to pixel art. It can be done with higher resolutions, assuming like you have the noise textures or you know the want to do that. Like, it's not hard. This method's quite easy. I'll show you. Anyhow, the first step is to get some base noise. You need like a static TV static like noise. This is good for sand, grass, fine details, stuff like that. Next, you want a rock-like texture. This is good for like cobblestone, magma, leaves, roads, foundations, animal prints, etc. And finally, like a vertical, like wood-like texture. This is good for like tree bark with like long vertical notches. Like, I guess you could also use it like blades of grass, stuff like that. You can even be like use like flowing water. A lot of stuff you can reuse it for. Anyways, the point of having these is that you basically have like a base texture and you just apply modifiers or filters to these to change it in specific ways instead of wasting all that time drawing it pixel by pixel. This gets really quick and efficient, especially if you're doing high resolution textures. And I'm pretty sure noise is just the foundation for most like high resolution textures nowadays anyways. Anyways, the next thing you want to do is get a color palette. This palette is called UT Underneath Palette by Stellar B on low spec. I'm going to leave a link to this in the description. It seems to be based off of Undertale, and it looks pretty cool. It got 9 colors, and it's not too many colors that would like get in the way of creating stuff, but it's not too little to limit what we can create from it. Another thing to note, if you use like one color palette for an entire game, that could actually create some form of coherence or consistency. And for example, like this one, you might notice there's not really any brown colors, but like these purples, they can be used as brown, like for like a tree trunk, for example, used in the context of all these other colors, creating like a form of harmony. And you're going to see it like, for example, this texture right here. You can't really tell what it's meant to be, but this is meant to be tree bark. It's using those two colors. And right now it might not look like, oh dang, that doesn't look like bark at all, but in the context of the final image, it will. So that's just one other thing. And then now, for this noise, I'm using GIMP to like use its like so it has a render and then a noise section. This one's, I'm pretty sure it's just cell noise. Oh, no, Perlin noise. I think that's what it was. You want to set the scale all the way up and change all those iterations, get something you want. Like, okay, this actually looks a lot better than the original result, so I'm going to use this. So you're going to hit OK, save that, and now this is kind of optional. I would recommend it anyways. You want to go back into filters, map, and then tile seamless, and it'll create it so it just is seamlessly tiled, right? Now what do we do with this texture? So we got a sand texture over here, and what it's doing is it got the yellow color and the white color, these two over to the right. Don't wanna ruin this one. And it's using a layer mask to selectively like blend these. And I'm going to replace that layer mask with my new one. And assuming I have it set correctly, I'm going to now increase the opacity, and it's okay. That literally looks like sand from Minecraft. You can see how well this works, right? And just like that. Like, you can change these colors, you can get grass, you can get dirt. There's a lot of different things you can just do with noise and 2 colors. And now next thing is like rocks. Like, so this one was created by going to filters, and it was, let's see here, what was it called? Simplex noise. Wait, no, solid noise. Yeah, it's solid noise. You want to hit tileable, turbulent, and then scale that down to however you want it to be. Don't go too far. Increase that detail, and then hit the new seed button a couple times, and you can find a texture that looks like rocks This one maybe doesn't really look like rocks. It looks more like roots. There's a new idea right there. There's a lot of different things you can get from this. And then I already like this texture. Looks pretty cool. And now you can do a similar thing. And ignore the top two textures for now. I got a modified version of the noise texture with two colors, black and like a dark purple. I've increased the contrast so it would allow for more rock-like texture with the black borders. And then I have some other layers, like this one adds a little bit of like a shine if you want to. You can change and tweak however you want. And then this is an example. Apply a colorized filter, and now you automatically have grass, or no, not grass. You already have leaves now. You could also call this, I don't know, poison. I don't know what you want to call it. But like, sky's the limit with this method. It can't even be called a method. It's literally just playing with like knobs and dials. And then, let's see here. Check my notes real quick. So yeah, after we got these like simple base textures, you can start mixing and matching them. Like, what's a good idea? Like I can showcase this with the what's it called? The quote unquote sand. New from visible, just so I get a flat layer. And let's say I want to make like a grass texture. I could colorize this. So it's in colors, colorize. Get that color real quick. Dang, that looks nothing like grass. But now you want to like play with like the saturation and the lightness. You can also like just make it from scratch instead of like modulating an existing image. It's not going to be as fine as like I'd want it to be, but it's just an example. And now, if I really wanted to, I could also apply like maybe this texture. I get it. Copy it. Oh, wrong image. Paste it on there and make sure this goes to its own layer, to new layer. And I could just like multiply it very slightly. Can create some interesting looking grass texture. Try to make it more original from Minecraft's. And then finally, you just like rinse and repeat. You can start using these final textures as inspiration for other ones. Like in Minecraft, like the log texture was like reused for like the most interesting things. It gets pretty crazy, pretty cool. Now, what else like could this be used for? Other than just like texture generation, you can also kind of use this method for stuff like, let's see here, like shaders. You can like, if you make like, for example, if you use a game engine with like dynamic shaders, or you can program your own shaders, you can basically generate infinite textures, kind of like this, if you really wanted to. That's like one idea you can use this for. You can use this for rapid prototyping of many different types of textures for many different platforms. So, for example, like if you're making like textures for like the NES, just deprecate this, or not deprecate it. What's it called? Like Bake Crunch, decimate. Yeah, I think that's the right word. Decimate the color count down to however many you need. Change the resolution. I'm pretty sure there's one here. Is posterize? Yes. Limit to like 4 colors for like the Game Boy. I think I did it on the wrong image. Filters, repeat posterize. Yeah, that's definitely a Game Boy thing now. The sky's the limit, really. And just like the really cool thing I like about this though is that it doesn't require any real artistic skills. It's more just like, oh, does this look good or not? If not, just tweak it a little bit more and just continue on with it.